This podcast was recorded on Gadigal land.
We would like to acknowledge the Gadigal of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of this land, and pay our respects to elders both past and present.
Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Welcome to High Stakes.
A podcast about the famous feuds, frenemies, and falling outs that have shaped pop culture. I'm Maddie Bogish.
And I'm Laura Marcia, and we are two Sydney-based journalists obsessed with all things celebrity gossip. But first, how are you, Maddie?
I am so good because we are almost at the finish line, or we are at the finish line.
Pretty much. I mean, this is our last record, is it not?
Last record for 2025, not forever. Unfortunately, we will be back next year.
Fortunately.
Depending on who you ask.
I like to think that everyone listening maybe likes the podcast.
That's a really good point. Hopefully.
Oh,
Or someone's hate listening. Someone's out there hate listening.
Our influence.
I love that. No, so I'm good.
Yes.
Like I said, last episode of this for the year. Work, our actual jobs finishes up next week. And then, 3 weeks of bliss. I'm going back to Adelaide briefly for Christmas.
Love that.
So I think that'll be gorgeous. So I'm going home. I'll get to see all my family and friends who I haven't seen. I was gonna say that I haven't seen them in a while, but I did see them like 2 months ago. But before that, I hadn't seen them in a really long time. So it'll just be nice to spend an extended period of time with them.
And it feels like a long time, I guess.
For them, it definitely does. I know they're missing me heaps.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, how are you?
Yeah, good. Again, very happy to be towards the end of the year and to be wrapping up certain things. I too am excited. I mean, I do have to work over the break, which is but that being said, what?
That is a bow.
It is a bow.
I keep forgetting that you have to work. I get 2 weeks off.
Yes, it's fine. But no, I am excited because I have our little, my Friendsmas thing coming up, which is going to be fun. And I obviously I'm very excited to see my family and it's going to be awesome as it always is. But Friendsmas is probably less responsibility and more fun when you weigh it up like that.
I agree. Are you doing a Kris Kringle for the Friendsmas?
No, but we're all bringing different things. So it's going to be at my house and I'm going to do the entrees and the cheese board and stuff. And then I've been told today I'm going to do the ham.
Nice.
I'm also very excited because some of my colleagues and I are going to a ho-ho ham raffle at a local RSL to try and win that ham.
For those of you who don't know as well, you probably don't know this unless you follow Laura on Instagram. She has been at a local pub every Sunday trying to win a meat tray.
Not just the meat tray, the badge draw. Maybe this is an Australian thing, but when you become a member of certain pubs, you get a number and every week they draw a number out of a hat and you can win money. And it's kind of turned into this thing that my friends who live locally will go to this pub and be there for the badge draw. And it makes us feel like we're in Friends or How I Met Your Mother where we have this standing arrangement to meet each other. But also one time I won 2 meat trays in one day because I went to 2 different pubs, not that I was at one pub and won both.
Yeah, and that was the one time that I was with you and I got sucked into buying a badge. You pay $10 for this badge because I was like, I don't want to miss out. All my friends are doing this. But I live half an hour away from where you guys do the meat raffle / badge draw. So I feel like I've wasted $10.
No, if you're ever around on a Sunday, just pop on in. You can come to mine for dinner. But also, you might win a bunch of money, meat, which is expensive, cost of living.
In this economy.
Anyway, we've gone off track. The whole point is I'm going to hopefully win a ham that I can bring to my Friendsmas Christmas.
Perfect. Well, that's that done. Good to know you're doing well.
Yeah.
Excited for your ham chat.
Ham chat.
Yeah. Shall we get into it?
Let's get into it. So we thought we'd use our last grill episode of the year as an opportunity to circle back on our favourite feuds of the year to see if this beef has well and truly been put to rest. What do you reckon?
I'm so into it. All right, let's get into it. So for our first story, we only thought it was fair to cover one of our most listened to episodes / deep dives, and that is the Taylor Swift versus Scooter Braun beef. Now, on May 30th, of this year, Taylor Swift put an end to an 8-year feud with Scooter Braun when she bought her master recordings back for her first 6 albums. These master recordings were Taylor Swift, Fearless, Speak Now, Red, 1989 and Reputation. I had to count them out on my hands because one time I accidentally didn't say one of them and my Swiftie friend messaged me and said, you missed out Taylor Swift.
We also had a bunch of comments too, so apologies to our sweets.
Yeah, I had to make sure that I was doing it.
Sorry.
Anyway, so the too long didn't listen for this one was basically that when Taylor was signed to her first label, Big Machine Records, at the ripe old age of 15, which I would argue is too young to be signing contracts.
Yeah.
even with your parents' guidance. Her manager at the time, Scott Borchetta, owned all of her master recordings.
Scott then sold them to a businessman and talent manager, Scooter Braun, who was a bit of a colossal wankstein. And he just, and essentially he just wanted to use Taylor as a bit of a cash cow. Well, we're assuming.
We are assuming.
Yes. But basically, Taylor and Scooter ran in similar circles. Scooter was Justin Bieber's manager, and Taylor was his girlfriend, Selena Gomez's best friend. And Scooter was also Kanye West's manager around the same time as Kim Kardashian edited a phone call with Taylor about her beef with Kanye. It was a whole thing.
Very convoluted, lots to wrap your head around. But basically, that's the gist as to why Taylor didn't like Scooter.
Yes. And at the time that the feud was really kicking off, Scooter Braun was positioned to be this evil man. And Taylor claimed that Scooter got Justin Bieber and Kanye West to share photos taunting her on socials. She also used the example of when Kanye released Famous and used a wax figure of her naked body in the video without her consent. Again, amongst other things. So then Taylor vowed to get revenge by recording all of her masters so no one would listen to the masters that Scooter now owned. And then Scooter thought this was all too hard and then sold the masters he owned to Shamrock Capital, who eventually sold Taylor back her masters.
To know exactly what went down to end this feud, I do suggest you go visit our two-parter Taylor Swift v Scooter Braun. It is my favourite episode we've ever done because while we were recording this, it actually unfolded.
Yeah.
Like we had a moment where we rushed to the studio. We were halfway through editing the second part and Taylor Swift then bought back her masters. It was a really good coincidence, but I would love to think that she did it on purpose.
It was great for us. Thank you, Taylor.
Yeah. So she no longer has any beef with Scooter Braun that we know of. And Scooter Braun even said that he was happy for her. He tried to tell the Daily Mail or similar, he tried to tell New York Post maybe that it was him that was helping her buy back her masters.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I also think that he really was painted to be this big old boogeyman, and whether that's entirely the case is a whole other story.
Yeah. Regardless of whether he was actually the worst man in the world or he had just done her dirty and she was really salty about it.
Yeah.
Is another thing. Ultimately, though, I do think this Masters feud is maybe the best thing to have happened to pop music.
Oh my God, yes.
Like looking back, without it, we probably wouldn't have the Eras tour. I'm sure this isn't a revolutionary take. Like, I'm sure people have thought of it. But, like, we wouldn't have the Eras tour without an 8-year-long feud. Was it 8 years? Almost.
Yeah, it was a long feud. And also just the moment of her getting her masters back and that little photo she posted of her with her arms up surrounded by, like, the artwork, it was just quite a victory and it was really nice to see. She's by no means the little man. Like, in this scenario, she is a powerhouse of her own right.
She's a billionaire.
A billionaire who did weaponize her fan base many, many times. However, I just think it was a pretty amazing moment in music, and it hopefully will change the way the industry kind of works, or at least make artists be a little bit more conscious about what they're signing, especially when they're 15 years old.
Yeah, true. All right, do you have anything else to add?
Nah.
Well, next story we go.
Next up, story number 2 is the ongoing feud between the Beckhams and the Pelt Beckhams, aka the recent icons who started the family's legacy, so Victoria and David Beckham, and then their firstborn son, Brooklyn, and his wife, Nicola Pelt Beckham. So, this beef has been going on for a while, but according to multiple reports in the media, it kicked off after the pair got engaged and started planning their multi-million-dollar wedding, which took place in April 2022. The couple hosted 600 guests, many of whom were big, big names, and it was a gorgeous ceremony which cost reportedly 26 million USD.
So much money for a wedding. How much your wedding costing, doll?
Oh, not even a drop of the water with that. So at that time, there was a rumor that was circulating that Nicola was supposed to wear a dress designed by Victoria Beckham, but she ended up going with a Valentino gown. And this caused all sorts of problems, reportedly. There was also a report which said that at the wedding itself, someone got up on stage and was like, now introducing the most beautiful woman in the room, Victoria Beckham.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently that, like, she stormed off crying. Don't know if that's true or not. This is just a report. However, that's pretty horrible if that did happen.
If it's your wedding.
Oh my God.
And the MC, who was it that said that? The MC, I'm assuming. The MC is introducing the mother of the groom to do a speech.
Yeah.
Or
awful.
similar.
Awful.
I would be holding a grudge too. Sorry.
No, me too.
Your wedding is shamelessly the only day in your life that is purely about you. That's not a birthday. Birthdays don't count.
Yeah, but I would also argue it's the day you're meant to look the most beautiful ever. Like, it's literally going to be the most beautiful you will probably ever look as a normal person.
Yeah.
So if anyone says I'm not the most beautiful girl at my wedding, you're out. You're done.
I'm literally the MC, so imagine if I get up and introduce your partner's mum, Ben's mum. Leslie, get up here, most beautiful woman at the wedding. Woo!
She's a gorgeous woman, but also I want to be the most beautiful at my wedding.
And you will be.
Thank you so much.
You literally will be. Don't even worry about it.
Thank you so much.
Anyway, we've digressed a little bit. So let's jump to 2025. And the Peltz Beckhams have been married for 3 years now, living in what seems to be wedded bliss. Now, they were invited to 2 important events on at the same time, the Met Gala and David Beckham's 50th birthday party. Now, given they are the Peltz Beckhams, you would have thought that they would have gone to David Beckham's 50th birthday party. Now, despite being in London at the time, Nicola and Brooklyn decided to skip David Beckham's 50th birthday party and also the Met Gala. So this obviously sparked a media frenzy, and everyone obviously was like, well, they obviously still have beef with the Beckhams.
Yeah.
Now, there were a few theories as to why Brooklyn and Nicola skipped David Beckham's 50th birthday. The first, and probably most popular at the time, was that Brooklyn's younger brother Romeo Beckham was dating a woman named Kim Turnbull, who Brooklyn used to be romantically linked with. Also, we thought, but she did come out and say that she hadn't been romantically involved with Brooklyn.
Yeah, so since our big deep dive episode, she's come out and said, no, actually, I was never romantically involved with him. We were just friends when we were 16.
Exactly. Bit weird, isn't it? Yeah, anyway. But then the other reports, specifically family friends who were reportedly speaking to The Sun, basically just claimed that Victoria and David didn't like how much influence Nicola had over Brooklyn, which when we reported on this, we did make it sound like Brooklyn was a bit of a lost cause and Nicola was just like giving him lots of guiding light.
Did we?
Well, I think we really honed in hard that he didn't really have a set career, tried lots of things, wasn't particularly very good at them. And, you know, Nicola Peltz Beckham is worth billions of dollars.
I mean,
she's an heiress.
She's also a director and an actor now. But he also has a lot of different ventures that he's done. I don't think that's
Not
any less
well.
true. That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Sorry.
doesn't he have a hot sauce company now?
Yeah, hot sauce. Was
Like-
there gin at some point?
I don't know. But, like, he did photography. He's, like, an at-home chef. He's got his hot sauce. Look, we all have many hobbies, but he's lucky he's fucking rich. Anyway,
so right.
so since our deep dive, though, there have been more developments. In August this year, Nicola and Brooklyn did a vow renewal ceremony at the Peltz family home in New York. I say home. It's a big mansion. And
Humble abode.
humble abode. And Nicola obviously looked gorgeous. She was wearing her mum's vintage wedding dress, and her dad even stepped in to officiate the ceremony. While all of Nicola's family were there, the Beckhams were nowhere to be seen.
But also, can I just add, if you were renewing your vows 2 years after your wedding, I'm sorry, something's up.
Or you just have a lot of money.
No, something is fucking up.
I think something's up too, but I also think that people with a lot of money can just fucking throw another wedding.
I just think it's not necessary to renew your vows 2 years after you get married because you haven't lost the essence of your marriage, right?
No.
Unless they really wanted to stick it to the Beckhams. They were like, we want to do this without you.
Well, yeah.
I was like, this is what you wrote in the show notes?
Well, this is what we were going to discuss at the end.
Oh.
But it's okay.
I've gotten ahead of myself.
It's okay because she's so on the ball. No, look, so according to a close family friend speaking to the Mirror, this feud is still going strong. So this is what they said. Brooklyn's brothers have been fanning the flames, and they've openly made fun of and trolled Brooklyn in comments on social media. These insider comments were likely referencing these posts that Cruz has made on Instagram. You know on Instagram, when you open it up and you have like a little speech bubble? It's these things. That's what we're talking about. Cruz wrote things like, oh, it's Stockholm Syndrome, or whole family, oh cunts, or etiquette with a laughing emoji. Like so many of those. There's more examples.
There's more.
Wait, there's more. But yeah, so a lot of people took that to mean that he was referring to. The Mirror also said, we're told Brooklyn and Nicola want to squash the long-standing family feud, but the problem is they feel no matter what they do, they get attacked in the press and online. Brooklyn and Nicola feel the family infighting is counterproductive, and the preferred path forward is focusing on both families' accomplishments and positive news.
Lots to think about. We've got one more thing that we didn't write in the show notes. Brooklyn and Nicola also skipped David Beckham's knighthood.
You are so right. Yes, they did.
Skipped it. They weren't fucking there. It's like arguably the biggest moment of his life. Bigger than a 50th, I would say. He's been knighted. The man has been knighted. And your eldest son, not eldest?
Yeah.
Your eldest son, not there.
Brooklyn and Nicola also weren't at Victoria Beckham's documentary launch.
Yes, and we said that on the episode. There was an episode where we mentioned that.
Probably the grill.
Yeah, that would be the other
This
episode.
episode is diabolical.
You can tell it's the end of the year.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think we can very clearly say that this beef is ongoing.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what 2026 brings.
Maybe they'll renew the vows again.
Oh my God. Just give it up.
Just give it up.
Anyway, do you have anything else to add?
No, I just think that it's alive and well.
It's still mooing in the paddock.
Oh, 100%.
I need to stop making those types of references, don't I? It's a
Nah.
bit gruesome. All right, for our third story, we have Sydney Sweeney versus the internet, or the woke left, depending on which news outlet you are reading. We would be the woke left. Sorry
That's
about
us,
it.
sorry.
Now, this story needs a little introduction, but for some context here, Sydney Sweeney set the internet on fire with her American Eagle Great Jeans campaign, which featured Sydney in a pair of the brand's denim, reciting, "Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair colour, personality, and even eye colour. My genes are blue." Funnily enough, when I was writing this, I didn't even need to fact check it because I have it etched in my brain. It is so catchy.
Yeah, fair enough. Look at you in your little jean jacket.
My genes.
Don't say it.
I can't because it's like I'm literally blonde with blue eyes. Like, that's fucked.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what Sydney should have done. See, in real time, you saw what Sydney should have done. Anyway.
Well, Sydney didn't do that.
No.
Anyway, the ad then cuts to a voiceover which says, "Sydney Sweeney has great genes."
So this copped significant backlash for the implications of genetic supremacy. And while this started on places like Reddit and TikTok, it was thrust into the mainstream pretty quickly. Even Donald Trump had called it out, saying that it was the hottest ad out there. Yucky. Also, this didn't do anything for the racist implications that were all over this ad campaign either.
So it just made it so much worse.
It really did.
I know, you really have to wonder if that's what Donald Trump was aiming for.
Well, I think what he was aiming for, he also, in this moment, said Sydney Sweeney, a registered Republican, which might not have been in the general knowledge of the public. So, you know, that says one other thing about where she stands on the political spectrum.
Yeah.
Anyway, so one thing we didn't note in our deep dive was that following the viral campaign, American Eagle stock price surged over 25 to 35%, and the specific jeans worn by Sydney sold out in a week.
It's really impressive, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, it
hate
is.
the ad campaign. It's really disgusting. And the fact that they didn't say anything to backtrack really proves that it did exactly what it was intending to do, right? Grab the money.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so in a sit-down interview with GQ at the start of November, Sydney was given a chance to address any hurt she'd caused with the ad campaign, or even just say, "Hey, sorry for the offense, guys. Sorry about that. Didn't even think about this. My bad." However, all she said to the journalist was, "I did a jean ad."
I love jeans.
Yeah, I love jeans. And like, I wish I could, in my voice, get across the look on her face, which is just like, I'd say feigned ignorance.
Yeah. Blank. Completely blank.
I did it. Innocence is the look that I get from it. She also said that Trump shouting her out was unreal, and it was really hard to read in what she meant by that comment in the video.
And in the last month, Sydney copped significant backlash from members of Hollywood, including Amy Lou Wood, who famously commented a little vomit emoji, and Ruby Rose even called her a cretin, which is hilarious. Like, I haven't heard that word used in such a long time. Yeah. And Sydney's movie Christie also flopped in the box office, and she didn't receive a single 2026 Golden Globe nomination.
Ouchie.
However, in an interview with People, Sydney finally said something, telling the outlet she was honestly surprised by the reaction, explaining, "I did it because I love the jeans and I love the brand. Many have assigned motives and labels to me that just aren't true." She also said that she leads with kindness, saying, "Anyone that knows me knows that I'm always trying to bring people together. I'm against hate and divisiveness. In the past, my stance has been to never respond to negative or positive press, but recently I have come to realize that my silence regarding this issue has only widened the divide, not closed it. I hope this new year brings more focus on what connects us instead of what divides us."
I'm glad she finally said something.
Me too. Have you seen the memes that have also come out that it's like, looks like someone got a new publicist?
Oh, yeah. And like, yeah.
I do have to wonder though, like, if she could feel people's voices getting louder and louder around this, why she didn't just come out and say, "Hey, sorry," exactly what she just said then. All she had to do was say that earlier, and it feels like she had so many opportunities to say it and she just chose not to. And now it's like it's hurting her career.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think the GQ interview was such a big fuck up because I think that as a culture, we're a little bit more forgiving than we were, say, in like the 2010s when it comes to cancel culture. And Like,
Which is a really hot take to make, because if you ask anyone who likes, or a white man, they like to think that cancel
Oh my
culture is
God.
well and truly alive. It's not. You don't really get cancelled.
they also think
People
that they're
forget.
suffering and oppressed generally. So, like, they're, you know what? Crazy. But no, I just think that, like she said, she is creating the divide and furthering it by not speaking up. It took her a long time to say that and come to that conclusion, but I'm glad she's there.
Yeah.
And I
think
support her in this new venture
Yeah,
of
and
speaking up
we
for
can
injustice.
only hope that she continues to do it.
So anything else you want to add on this story? Because I think that it's kind of wrapped up now.
I think this steak is sizzled.
Well said.
Yummy.
Yum, yum, yum.
On your Sydney. Anyway,
to the next.
let's go.
The next story that we think has been quite a big one of the year is Katy Perry, but with the Zeitgeist in general. So I think it's safe to say that 2025 has not been Katy Perry's year. Back in April, the pop star found herself at the center of a media storm when she took part in Amazon's Blue Origin space flight. This flight saw Katy, along with a bunch of other prominent women, head up into the atmosphere and spend a glorious 4 minutes in zero gravity, which was live streamed worldwide.
To go into space for 4 minutes is just abysmal. Like, I've honestly had rendezvous with men that have lasted longer than that, and that is saying something.
That is saying something.
Not if I just said that on the pod.
Perfect. But no, it's actually crazy because they can only just say that they've gone to space because they just went past the Kármán line. So I think that's like, look, I might be wrong, but I think it's like 100 kilometers from Earth or something. There's a point where they can officially say it's space, and they just kind of went above that.
Okay.
So like, I'm just going to say it. This didn't need to happen.
No.
It was ridiculous. Anyway. So during this time, while they're up in the air, they're floating around, they have 4 minutes. Katy holds up a daisy to the camera to represent her daughter, Daisy Dove.
Is that what that was for?
Yes.
I thought she was just girl bossing. I didn't know that's what
What
it
do you
was
think
for.
it was? Was she making a statement about like planet Earth?
Yes. I honestly was like, oh, that's weird. That's a weird way to say that she's, doing things for Mother Nature. Because didn't she say something about Mother Nature being really beautiful?
Yeah, she did. She did say that.
That's what I thought that was symbolizing.
Well, you could be right, but I think it's more likely to be about her daughter, Daisy.
Why wouldn't you bring up a photo of her?
She loves symbolism.
Do
Anyway,
you ever feel like a plastic bag floating through space?
she must have in that moment. But that's not all she brought up. She didn't just bring up the fucking flower. She also brought up this like butterfly shaped card, right? And she held it up to the camera, but the live stream was really grainy. Maybe being up in space fucks your live stream because you couldn't, on the card, she was meant to release the set list of her Lifetimes tour, but then you couldn't read it. It's too blurry. Anyway,
funny.
so I know that the Blue Origin space flight wasn't Katy Perry's doing, and I'm sure that there's lots of people listening who potentially would go to space if Jeff Bezos was like, yo, want to go to space? But it was meant to kind of like signify female empowerment because it was the first all-female flight since 1963. Well, that is according to Lauren Sanchez, Jeff Bezos' wife.
Perfect.
Yes, I don't think it really ticked the box at all.
No. Anyway, this whole thing, as you would expect, copped a fair bit of criticism, including memes and call-outs, even from other celebrities, including M. Radikowski, who said in a TikTok, "You say that you care about Mother Earth and it's about Mother Earth, and you're going up in a spaceship that is built and paid for by a company that's single-handedly destroying the planet. Look at the state of the world and think about how many resources went into putting these women into space. For what?"
Another criticism was from Olivia Munn, who said, "It's so much money to go to space. There are a lot of people who can't even afford eggs. I think it's a bit gluttonous."
I think that is a really beautiful point.
I think so too.
I can't afford eggs.
They're a lot right now.
They
I
are
feel
a
like
lot.
I'm making an investment. I just want to have steamed eggs.
And eggs used to be the cheap thing to buy.
No, totally.
Anyway, Katy responded to this backlash in May in response to a fan page who checked in on her. "Please know I am okay. I have done a lot of work knowing who I am, what is real, and what is important to me. When the online world tries to make me a human piñata, I take it with grace and send them love, because I know so many people are hurting in so many ways, and the internet is very much a dumping ground for the unhinged and unhealed." That's just...
It's a much, much longer quote, right? So I'm going to put the whole thing on the screen.
But that's the
And
gist.
that is the bits you need. You know,
Yeah.
you're not missing out if you're just listening to this.
She's
You're not missing
basically
out on
calling
anything.
everyone that's criticised her unhinged and unhealed. And I would say that's true about maybe us
Yep.
But I wouldn't say that's true about everyone who said, hey, that was a really stupid thing to do in the middle of a economic and climate crisis.
Absolutely. Also, the rest of the message pretty much was just thanking her fans. So keep that in mind. Anyway, so this wasn't the end of Katy Perry's beef with just the culture in general. Now, for the last 3 years, Katy has been locked in a legal battle with a sick elderly veteran named Carl Westcott, who happens to be related to a Real Housewives of Dallas star, Cameron Westcott. So we covered this in our Katy Perry versus the Nun deep dive, which is probably one of my favorite episodes we've done.
Nice.
But basically in 2023, Carl sued Katy's business agent, claiming that he was tricked into selling his 15 million USD mansion to Katy whilst under the effects of painkillers after a surgery. Since then, Katy and her ex-husband Orlando Bloom have been locked in a legal battle with him and now are asking for millions of dollars in compensation, according to the Daily Mail.
The cornerstone of truthful journalism.
Thank you.
Although I do think they're on the money with this one.
This is correct, actually. They've done their research. There's many sites that say this. So the legal battle is set to come to an end on December 30, but according to People, it's looking like Carl will have to pay Katy 1.8 million USD because the judge claimed that Katy lost a hefty amount of rental income during the drawn-out legal battle because she apparently wanted to rent out the mansion.
This is controversial maybe, but I don't believe landlords should have rights.
At all?
No.
All right.
What do you need them for?
On the grill, landlords.
On the grill, literally landlords. What do you need rights for if you have enough money to buy multiple properties?
Yeah, I get it. I also think in this case, like, Katy Perry's got enough fucking money. Does she need the $1.8 million from a dying veteran who literally his family has said has days left, pretty much?
Yes, my friend sent me a meme the other day, not a meme, but a news headline of him in hospital. And it was like, Katy Perry is suing dying veteran. And then you can tell my friends are listeners because she goes, wasn't killing the nuns enough?
Honestly, she's so right.
She killed a nun.
Yeah, because the last thing the nun said when she died in the courtroom was, Katy Perry, please stop. And that is cinema. That, if there's any sign that there's a God, it's that he was like, that nun dies now. Anyway.
She has said what she needed to say.
Period. She gets the last word.
But a nun is dead.
The nun did die.
Yeah.
She was old. Anyway, go listen to it. It's a good episode.
Yeah.
But
it is really sad about the dying veteran, and this isn't fair to
Yes.
his family who'll be left behind to clean all this up.
Exactly. Yeah,
Katy.
this is not good.
Pull it together. You don't need to sue him.
Yes. Well, she has.
Yep, so she's killed a nun, she's fucked off to space, and now she's come back, and now she's suing a dying veteran.
Yes.
Awful stuff.
Bad.
Thankfully, I guess, she's now dating Justin Trudeau, so it feels like things are on the up for her.
Yeah, for her personally. Do we think that's enough to save or at least help her reputation right now?
No.
Yeah.
But also, fortunately, there's so many other things going on and so many other people that are targets of the zeitgeist or internet culture that it does always end up getting swept under the rug.
Yeah.
People will often, she'll lose some friends and fans.
Some friends and fans. But I mean, it's fine. I think she's one of those characters that will just continue to evolve with the times and be around. Really.
Evolve is a strong word. I would say that she's not really evolving at all. She recently danced with a vibrator, and I would say that's very 2010s coded.
But women's world was just so 2010s. Actually, you're right. I shouldn't have said evolve.
Evolve is wrong. She's staying stagnant, and that's the problem. Apart
said
from
it.
when she's going to space.
Anyway, go get your daisy and put it to the camera.
All right. Should we go to our last story?
Please.
Okay, so we have to end on our most listened to grill episode of the year, which was Lily Allen and David Harbour's cheating scandal as told by Lily's album West End Girl. Now, we did talk about the album and Lily's claims in depth in our episode of The Grill in late October, so if you want the ins and outs of that one, please head to that. Since then, David Harbour has kind of spoken out loosely, I guess we could call it that.
Maybe.
Yes, in an interview with Esquire Spain. Now, full disclosure, the interview was done in September before Lily's album dropped, but the readers believe that he is kind of hinting about his life more widely than just speaking out about the final season of Stranger Things, which he was doing the press for at the time.
Yeah. So in the interview, they're like, him and the journalists are walking around New York, and he's just kind of asking questions about his craft and Stranger Things in his life and things like that. So in the interview, he talks about how he'd always dreamed of fame and adulation. He said this: "When I was a kid, I used to hold a shampoo bottle in the shower and give a speech, practicing what I was going to say on The Tonight Show with David Letterman. It was a fascination with fame and this desire for awards and adulation. And I still really do like adulation. I like when people like my work, especially when the people who like my work are the people that I like, right? At one point, the journalist asks him whether there's anything he would change about the last half century or whether he has any regrets about the last few years of his life because he's just turned 50. He said, "You either accept your path completely and realize that even the pain and the slip-ups and the mistakes are all part of the journey and that there's truth and growth and wisdom and the deeper empathy and connection in all that. It's kind of like a house of cards. The minute you try to change one thing, you kind of have to change it all."
Interesting. I do find it quite interesting that he is so obsessed with adulation because given when Lily Allen had the opening night of 222, which was her West End play, he sent her bad luck flowers. And then there was a resurfaced interview of them awkwardly standing at an awards show where he wasn't up for an award, but she was.
Yeah.
He was a bit salty about it.
He was pretty salty. And he kind of played it off by being like, "Congratulations, darling." Yeah.
So we can take maybe what he said there and maybe that is what led to the breakdown of their marriage.
Who knows? We're reading into everything, obviously.
We are. And Lily Allen also did drop a whole heap of very funny TikToks after her album came out. She dressed up as Madeline for Halloween.
That was a fun one.
Which I think is hilarious.
Who
Anyway.
the fuck is Madeline?
Exactly. So that's all we've heard from David since his Lily Allen related scandal. However, in the midst of it all, claims that David had bullied Stranger Things star Millie Bobby Brown hit the headlines, and the report claimed that Millie had complained to Netflix and they had launched an internal investigation. We also covered this in a Grill episode, I think it was the following week.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. But basically there was just rumours that 2 years ago, Millie, who was a child/teenager at the time, was being bullied by David Harbour. None of these have been verified, so we can't really say if they're true, but it has been dug up and there was a bit of a pile-on. During that press run, there was footage of David and Millie Bobby Brown embracing, which I thought was really nice. It was a good way to kind of quash the rumours of a feud, or at least an ongoing feud. Like it might have just been she was a child at the time and she found this big man to be quite overbearing.
Yeah.
And so she complained. I would have probably done the same. I complain about men all the time.
True.
Anyway, in a separate press conference, Millie was asked about the accusations and why it is important for the cast to be a united front. She said, "We've been doing that for the last 10 years. I mean, we have always been united in that. We love this show with everything and we value our friendship more than anything."
That's sweet.
Well, I think it's nice. I think it's a really good way, even if it is just PR spin, it's a really good way to say, we don't have a problem now.
Yeah.
Maybe we did, but you'll never know.
Yeah.
So what do we make of Lily Allen's Revenge album?
I love the album.
Isn't it iconic? And you have to listen to it from start to finish like it is actually a play because it does feel very theatrical.
It does. And even like, what song is it? I think it is West End Girl, where it feels like there's like intro music to a show. Then there's voice memos that she's kind of reenacting on the album to him. It's quite amazing.
It is. And it's the greatest way to get back at your husband who's cheated on you and betrayed your trust.
Period.
If I could sing, I'd be doing it.
Yeah.
Never been
Ben,
married.
if you ever fuck me over, I'm doing an album.
Oh, and also, you know what I found out about Laura the other night? That she can sing.
You didn't know that?
Well, you know, I've heard you sing and I thought, And then someone said to me the other night when we were out, "Oh, and Laura's such a good singer." I was
Who
like,
said that to you? Who was it? That's so nice. But also, I've hung up my vocal cords.
well, I was like, I think she's all right, but I wouldn't say so good. And then someone said, "You missed her in the heyday."
That's so, so true.
Anyway.
That's when I wanted to be a musician, God bless.
Well, I guess that's probably where we can end it.
Yeah, unless you want to say anything. You want to say it? You want to?
Yes, actually, I do. Thank you so much for making our first year in front of the mic and camera so special. We really appreciate the love and support.
We really do.
I'm getting steamy in the eyes.
Oh my God, no, but it's just so, we wanted to launch this podcast for so long. And it's crazy that it hasn't even been a full year. It'll be a full year in April.
Yes.
My queen. She's crying.
No, I'm not.
She's teared up. But no, this has been the coolest thing that we've done. And it's so fun to take our career in this way and that there's people actually listen to us. So thank you.
And please, if you have any ideas on what we should call our audience, let us know. Because we did say sizzlers and no one really said anything but 2 people.
Yeah, just 2. I got some
said,
texts from friends.
Oh yeah, but texts from friends don't count. We need the viewership who do not have any emotional investment in our connection because we value your connection.
It's so true.
And we want to give you a good name. And also, If there's any beef that you would like us to cover in our deep dives for 2026, please let us know. Well, do you reckon that's all we have time for today?
I do, but before we officially sign off, have a really, really good end of 2025, and we will see you in 2026.
Perfect.
Thanks for listening. You can listen to High Stakes on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast.
And don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at High Stakes Pod.
Love ya. Bye.
Let's get out of here.